Episode 4.
Naked Zebras.
Episode 4. Who thought we'd make it this long?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah. Once we started getting it going, I figured we would keep it going. For sure.
Yeah.
It was just doing it, getting all this. Look at it. Look at us now. You may notice we have stands for our mics now. Um, it was a very complicated process to figure those out, apparently.
We're
We
retarded.
are
We're
intelligent. We are
stupid
intelligent.
retarded. I swear to God, everybody who's listening to this, we are not the smartest tools in the shed.
No, but we got it. We figured it out, and I mean, here we are. So now I can. Ooh, look at this! I can show all my hands. I can count to 10.
I can show mine too.
Yeah,
I was telling him earlier I could eat a burger and jerk off at the same time.
and talk to you guys. I don't necessarily want to jerk off on our podcast, but that's
No jerking
Heck,
off on the Naked Zebras.
that's the Naked Zebras after hours, which we have yet to start. So
the after hours. Slow, long
I mean,
strokes.
I mean they are naked zebras. That's got to count for something there.
Herbivores.
Herbivores, yeah, they are.
You figured that out last week, or was that the week before?
I think it was the week before.
Yeah.
I think, but that was just from what I remember. I could be wrong.
In a little bit of us news, we are gonna try and start streaming here soon. We're like very close to being able to like stream on a console because we don't own computer PCs. That you can just do
Gaming
everything
PCs, yeah,
through computer PCs.
exactly. I mean, we still got to take off, but I do not have $2,500 to drop on all new shit on a gaming PC. So we're getting there, though. It's really the audio. I'm sure anyone out
Yeah,
there,
audio
if you've
is-
even attempted doing it, audio is the hardest fucking part, in my opinion. I could just stream the game without showing myself or listening to it or talking, and get that
Honestly,
just fine. But the audio is a fucking bitch.
like we spend the first like 30 minutes at least before we record this like just making sure we have as less echo as possible. And because
And that we can hear each other, we can hear ourselves.
we're
Like
we're,
sometimes
we're in the same room,
there's-
but
yeah,
um
there's
like last week we were in two different locations and like he sounded like shit because he was in like an air. There's just nothing like soaking up the sound like he's got right now with the couch and shit. Just I don't know. We're amateurs.
we're working on it.
We're amateurs.
We're working on it.
True.
Nick,
I have crafted one of the greatest questions in probably history.
yeah,
No, I guess since 1990. I guess since 2005. Let's all pretend that we could only listen to one song for the rest of our life, but there's only two songs you can choose from. Long and hard, thinking about this all night last night. Would you rather listen to Photograph by Nickelback or Wonderwall by Oasis for the rest of your life? That's the only song you could hear. I'm curious as to what Shrew wants. Which I want you to go first.
all right. Those are some quite the song choices right there to listen to. Now I thought about it, and while both are honestly pretty good songs, and I'll get into that more in depth. Personally, I'm just gonna say I think I would go with Photograph. Some Nickelback.
Photograph
I
by
really
Nickelback.
do. I really do. I really do. I think that I would Wonderwall. I don't know if it's because maybe it's been out longer, so I've heard it more, or it's just I don't know. Just something about the Photograph. I think if I only could listen to one song, I would enjoy listening to Photograph longer throughout time than I would Wonderwall throughout time. And can we be real here and just say, from 2005 till even now, you still hear it. People like to hate on Nickelback. They act like
You
they're.
still hear Wonderwall too.
I know,
You
but
hear
you don't
both
hear
songs,
that.
honestly.
You don't.
Honestly,
You don't. You
I
don't
feel
hear
like
that
if I
kind of
turned on the
vitriol.
radio right now, I'd probably hear Wonderwall before I heard Photograph.
At this exact moment, I could kind of agree, but I think that might have to do with more of almost a nostalgia kind of thing. The fact that that's almost 30-year-old song, so like, you know, more stations are playing that versus Photograph hasn't quite reached that time frame to be considered like not old school, but or classic rock might not be the right even thing to say, but it's just it's in that down period. Something comes out and it's really popular, it stays for a while. And then obviously it kind of dies back down. And then people kind of bring it back up after some time have passed of it not being kind of like in your recent memory. But that's just, I guess, my thought process on that. But Nickelback as a whole, everyone acts like, you know, hate them. But at the same time, everyone knows Photograph, How You Remind Me. Like, those are just two, but like, we all know them. We all know the words. We all sing along. We all just, we do. We like it. Whether you want to admit it or not, Nickelback is not the worst thing that's ever happened to mankind. Okay? So, I
Personally,
personally,
personally, personally, I think the song Wonderwall is the worst thing that's ever happened to mankind. I would have to agree with you and go with Photograph.
oh,
I
really?
hate
I'm a little
Wonderwall.
surprised. I thought we were going to be different. I thought we were
I
going to be different.
can't stand that song. I don't even understand how it has 455 million views. I don't know why it's placed 95 in the 500 greatest songs by Rolling Stone, and Nickelback's
I would agree
Photograph
with
isn't
that.
even up there.
Okay, I would agree with that. I don't hate Wonderwall, but I don't think it's a goat. You know what I mean? And like you just said, and put it in the top 100 songs. I would
That
put
song is not
Photograph
a
well
goat,
before
especially
Wonderwall.
when Champagne Supernova is a way better Oasis song.
Yeah, but what I don't is it.
I think it's the emotion, to be honest.
I was just about to say, is it the tone of the song? Is it just you
I
know what I mean? Like,
the because if you think about it, they're both start out with the acoustic, the slow acoustic tone,
huh?
and just I you're gonna be the one to save me. I don't know. I don't know, man. I think people are just retarded. I'm serious. I think people are just retarded.
well, people are retarded out there. Offense to the retarded people. No, I'm just kidding. Just
Offense
kidding.
taken to all of you retards. If you choose Wonderwall over Nickelback's Photograph, you should probably just stop breathing air. You
Or
said
you
something about
can.
the Nickelback hate. What is with all that Nickelback hate? Why do people hate Nickelback? Where did the
That's
Nickelback
what I'm
hate
saying.
come from?
That's what I'm saying. You know what?
Nickelback's great, dude.
Photograph. They're yeah, they're good. I have zero problems.
They wrote a song about picking up a girl, taking her to like the woods, fucking her, and then her dad shows up and catches them.
Wild,
I will see fucking Oasis write shit like that.
wild. It might have been
Nickelback
just the time
rocks,
that it came
bro.
out. It might have just been the time that it came out. Nickelback and Photograph specifically. What 2005? That was pretty. I remember Green Day being really big back then. But at the same time,
I
I
mean,
mean, Nickelback, Green
Green Day
Day.
honestly was probably as big throughout this whole entire thing. To be honest,
Well, between Wonderwall and Photograph, you mean?
yeah, I mean, '95 Dookie was already released.
Yeah, well, yeah, the Green Day's been relevant. I'm just wondering, like, is it just their sound or something that people didn't really like? Like, was it his voice? Is it what they were singing about? I don't really know. I mean, I never like
I think it was
hated
the
Nickelback.
popularity.
The popular, yeah,
If I had to take a guess, I think it was the
hate
popularity.
hate because they're popular, kind of
What do you mean?
like they're popular, so it's cool to hate them.
Yes, because you got to
Yeah,
remember. I
yeah.
remember when I was a kid, Photograph was like the fucking song. Look
That
at
and
this
how you
photograph.
remind me. How You
I
Remind
feel
Me was
like
one
I
I
heard
always remember.
Photograph more, man. Every
Yeah,
time it ever
yeah, probably
makes me
more.
laugh.
Probably more. I would definitely say more. Though I will say, okay, have you ever been out like bars or something like that? How often do you hear Photograph versus
Oh,
Wonderwall?
you hear Wonderwall way more.
Yes, yes, yes. That's what
I
I would
guess that
agree.
takes into a
So
tone like Wonderwall has more of like a social atmosphere vibe as Photograph's a little bit more sad,
a little bit more solitary. You know what I mean? Like you're probably
solitary,
gonna be, yeah, like someone that's really vibing to Photograph is probably vibing to it. Listening in their car at home or something like that. Versus one, like if
or played it on the jukebox. I feel
yeah,
like if you hear Photograph in a bar or like a restaurant, you're playing it on the jukebox yourself. Wonderwall, you
yes,
just hear
like the DJ in your random local fucking dive bar on a Saturday night's gonna just throw that into their like mix. That and I forget what it's called, so I'll say it'll come
What
to
was it?
me.
What is it? Another Oasis song?
Sweet Caroline. Sweet Caroline. Like I hear
Touching
that like play
me,
at bars and stuff.
touching
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Like I feel like
That
Wonderwall
song's a
fits
bop.
more into those. I'm not saying it's a
Sweet
bad song.
Caroline is a
I'm just
bop,
saying
dude.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying that like when I go out sometimes and that's like a song that plays like is part of the rotation. You know what I mean?
Side note about Sweet Caroline. I'm pretty sure 100% of the time I've heard Sweet Caroline in a social situation when ba pop ba happens. At least 5 different people do it.
Oh yeah.
I don't think
Oh
I've
yeah.
ever been in a social situation where that song comes on and everybody's just silent during that part. Ba
For sure.
ba ba, like
For
everybody
sure.
goes like that song's almost magic when you think about it. That's magic
Yeah.
through
I
the
mean,
speakers.
it's music magic.
Um,
It's that MM. You heard it here first. MM, music magic.
both songs they were released in a time where I mean, like there weren't smartphones. You had you were
No, you
either
you heard it on the
listening,
radio or you bought the album.
yeah, that.
Eventually, I mean, maybe like VH1, I don't
Well, I remember when I
MTV,
was a
stuff
kid.
like that. But
When I was a kid, we had a cable network that had like a music streaming thing. So like it was like in the thousands, but it had like a select things of videos you could choose. Like you could actually like choose the videos and shit. Honestly, that may not even 2005. That'd have been later. Honestly, that may have been in like my teens.
mm,
I I don't know. Time moves so fast. That was a long time ago.
yeah, I agree.
Did you know Trump
Almost
used the
20
song
years.
"Photograph" to make fun of Biden?
That doesn't surprise me
I don't remember
because
that
at this.
happening. The hell is on
Mm,
Joey's head? That's classic Trump, dude.
I,
That's classic Trump.
that one I don't. I remember when he fucking photoshopped his face over what is that Sylvester Stallone,
I don't
Rocky.
remember that. I don't remember that at
You don't
all.
really see,
No,
okay,
I
you
don't.
don't
I have
remember
to look
that
that
one?
up. Where's my
He like
phone?
tweeted, yeah, he tweeted a picture with his face over like Rocky Balboa,
That
and
happened.
the tweet was somewhere like I don't know something like oh they're out to get you, but I'm gonna be the guy to stand up for you or something like that. I don't really remember, but it was on Twitter. It was something I remember that. Did you see it? Did you look it up?
Oh shit, that is hilarious, dude. I actually think I
Yeah.
do remember this. Yeah.
Yeah, he totally he tweeted that. Like it was like at 5 in the morning, I think. It was one of those like you woke
Oh,
up
dude,
that day
classic Trump, dude.
and like
Trump on
right? I
Twitter.
miss him.
Trump on Twitter was something else, man. Those were some wild days, man.
Those really were.
That was the wild west. Trump on fucking Twitter, man.
Right? That was great though.
Nobody
I
will
mean,
stop me. I am
it
better than
was
Sleepy Joe.
it was it was nice to hear honestly for me to hear
Where's
like
Joe?
our president just kind of doing the dumb shit that everyone does on Twitter. You know what I mean? Just being a fucking he was a meme lord. The dude was a
You
straight up troll.
just
Like
grab him by the pussy.
grab him by the
Grab him
pussy,
by the
man.
pussy,
like like
man.
like you can't lie. We have all said more dumb shit in high school. You know what I mean? Like I didn't care. I didn't care about all that. His tweets and stuff, they were just funny. And people that took it so seriously, like, "Ah, oh my God, our president, he's supposed to be like professional and not be doing that. Like, get the pole out of your ass, get off your fucking high horse, and just
Get the
laugh.
pull out of your ass.
The dude posted a picture of himself as fucking Rocky. Like, that's just fucking
And it was
funny.
hilarious. Honestly, I
That's
laughed at it
just
today.
funny. That's just funny. So stop acting like, that's not very
Well,
professional. Like, fuck off.
honestly,
Shit's annoying.
this is a great
Shit's
segue.
annoying.
This is a great segue into what we're about to talk about next. And like, we, we've been talking about this. Like, we don't. This isn't a political podcast, but we'll tell you right now, we'll trash
We'll talk
politics.
about politics. Yeah.
We'll just trash it. So, I think it's pretty safe to say that neither one of us give a fuck about the American politics.
At this point, not a single flying fuck. No,
Never once have I just sat down and been like, you know what? What's Gavin Newsom doing today?
not anymore. I used to.
I
I'm
don't
not
think
gonna
I
lie. There
ever
was a
felt
there
like
was a
that.
there was a period where I was really really deep into the politics. I was listening to a lot. I would hear all the names. I would look them up and see what they're into. I would bitch about them and stuff like that. But we can get into why I got out of it. But I got out of it,
You were really into.
and
I don't remember you being really into politics, honestly.
yeah, it was probably like 2018, 2019. It was up until the 2020 election.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't give
What,
a shit.
I got really into like Tim Pool. I would listen to
I
him
couldn't.
all the time. I would listen to all of them and stuff like that, and I was really into it. It throughout Trump's presidency. To be
Tim
fair,
Pool's a
I really
fucking
paid
idiot.
attention to it because I think a lot was really exposed and like shown during that point, to where I was kind of into it and whatnot. But then again, after that 2020 election,
I feel like my.
I no, I
I feel
couldn't.
like
I don't care.
Tim Pool is like
I think he's a narcissist.
if like The Walking Dead were to happen and zombies were to happen, like Tim Pool would like those would be like the Raiders.
Like like
That would
the
not
group
be
of people.
that would not be salvation. That would not be a place you'd want to go. I guarantee those people would just be killing people.
I could
That
agree with
that that
that.
they would be so selfish in their own rights. They would only care about themselves. I know they would. They
I
they
would agree
wouldn't they
with
wouldn't
that.
allow anybody in if they could have 40,000 gallons of water. They'd keep it all to themselves. I guarantee it. And I mean that. That's a hot
I
take.
would agree. I would agree. I would actually
Also, Tim
agree.
Pool has been calling for civil war for the past 3 years, and it still hasn't happened. Fucking idiot. Um, God damn. Do you remember COVID?
Of course I remember
Fucking that
COVID.
election. Here's another reason why I hate politics. Fucking sleepy Joe Biden and grab him by the pussy Donald Trump, dude. They there was a day I woke up and I really gave like a fuck about like our country. And
You
then
did care?
I gave a fuck about like our country in general, like
Okay.
and then January 6th happened and I just was like, well, we're all fucking doomed. Every
Honestly,
single
that
one
was
of us is
about what
doomed.
that was when I that after that is when I deleted my Twitter. I got off it all and I'm like, I'm fucking done. 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 Like I don't care anymore.
Do
And
you
then of
know if we
course,
would have went to that, we'd have the FBI up our ass?
we would probably be in a federal prison to this day.
I don't think we would have been stupid enough to go up to that Capitol.
Well, okay, assuming we didn't go into the Capitol, yeah, but
I know, no. Even if you were like on like the cap, like even close to the Capitol, the FBI would be on our ass. Like if
yeah,
you
we
were like
probably
within
would
a
have had
mile
some
radius of that, man. I
we
still,
probably would have had someone at your door being like, "Hey, we need to talk to you about your involvement in blah blah blah."
yeah, dude. I still see
Straight
the
up.
FBI tweet on
Straight
fucking
up.
Twitter with like pictures of people. Do you know anything about this during the storming of the Capitol riot?
Yeah.
Honestly, okay, listen, I'm not going to consider myself anything. I'm going to consider myself a Nicologist. Okay, I voted for Trump in the last election. I will not lie. Um,
Mm.
that storming the Capitol when it first happened, I do remember thinking like this like I don't understand why people are taking this as a big deal, but as the years have gone by, like thinking back about it now, like four people did die that day. That was a pretty fucking insane day.
Yeah.
Like
My
when like you really think about it, like they could like make a
in
song about that
history,
shit.
I would agree. I my biggest thing about it is I just don't agree with the mainstream media's interpretation of it. I don't think it was meant to be like this coup, where these people were trying to literally. I mean, maybe some of them were. I don't know. I wasn't there. I never talked to them. I wasn't in the building or whatnot. But I do understand their anger, I guess. That election was bullshit. I'm gonna just call it out, and maybe we're gonna
Okay,
get flagged by
I wanna
YouTube or
I
something.
wanna I wanna say something. All right.
What? Go ahead.
So COVID is like the worst thing throughout 2020. Serious fucking like mass spreading events happening. Oh my god, COVID, wear a mask. You got to be 6 feet apart. Blah 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 blah. If you remember, Trump was the one who approved those vaccines. It was
Mhm.
Joe Biden telling you, don't take it. Trump's telling you to take the
Mhm.
vaccine. Don't take the vaccine.
Mhm.
If I become
Mhm.
president, I'll have a good vaccine. So fucking January 6th happens. I don't remember hearing fucking like a whole bunch of people dying from COVID just from that one event, and that was a packed ass city with people not wearing masks. And then
Because it
hold on,
didn't.
hold on, hold on. And then when Joe Biden finally gets in office and everybody's freaking the fuck out about like if the election's been stolen or not, and at this point I stopped giving a fuck. Joe Biden's like,
Same.
why don't you go ahead and take those vaccines fucking Trump made available for y'all? I took them during the day and I got my second shot. I mean, wait, I only got one.
It falls asleep.
No, I don't give a shit about any of them. And thinking going into next year's election, dude, I'm gonna vote. I'm literally gonna put "suck my cock" on the ballot.
I don't even.
I
I'm not gonna vote.
I hope I don't get arrested for it, but I might write down "suck my cock" on the ballot.
I'm just not even gonna vote. Come next year's election, I'm literally gonna go to work, sit in my house and play video games, stream or some shit, make a podcast with my bro, and I don't care at this point. At
I
this
just want
point,
everybody to know that "suck my cock" is now running for president, and you should all vote for him next week,
I'll vote
next
for
year.
him.
You should.
I'll vote for him
You should. We could have two "suck my cocks." It's two
for
"suck my
his
cocks"
cock.
votes.
Two suck my cock votes.
Two "suck my cock" votes. And anybody else who's watching this,
I
you should
I
go
bet
to
we
the
could,
polls next year and vote for "suck my cock."
sir, suck my cock.
Sir, has he been knighted?
Yeah.
Sir, suck
Exactly.
my cock.
Exactly. Exactly. I listen. That whole time frame, and like even thinking back, it's just popped in my head like the impeachment and shit of Trump, and then the
Which one?
election. The I guess the second one, the one that actually went to like the Senate and stuff like that, and the
Yeah.
Senate had to vote on it, and it was all televised,
I
and
feel
they
like
had
they were
their
trying to impeach him for
lawyers,
four
and
years.
they were. Well, of course they were. It was all just, to me at this point, our government is so deeply corrupt, so oligarchical. I don't know if that's a word or if I said that right, but
Were you trying to say
you
allegorical?
no, like an oligarchy, like
I don't know
the
what that
rich
means.
rule. An oligarchy. I'm pretty sure.
Oligarchy?
Yeah, oligarchy,
I've
oligarchy,
heard that
whatever.
word before.
Yeah, like the rich really run it. You know what I
Again,
mean?
disclaimer,
Like the
we're not here to talk
CEOs,
politics. We're here to shit politics.
yeah,
Like I'm sitting on a fucking toilet right now and like just a hot steamy pile of shit is coming out of my body cuz I don't want it in there anymore.
with corn, with
Yeah.
corn mixed in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
With
yeah,
corn.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. It's just so corrupt and bullshit that just after that happened, I realized that to me, maybe it's black pilling is if I'm saying that right. It's so just useless. What am I gonna do? What are we gonna do? Even if
Well, I guarantee like
people
people
stood up, you
I
saw what happened. We saw what happened.
well no,
If people
listen.
stood
Hold
up
on.
and tried to fight back, we had a riot in which, 4 people died. Normal people
Hold
that
on.
didn't even go into the building have been arrested. Like it's bullshit. Nothing's gonna change without violence. And I'm not calling to violence. I'm just saying, unless Tim Pool's right and we do finally get to a civil war or some sort of global
Even if
global
he's been
conflict that
saying it for so
unites
long,
me,
even if it fucking happened, it wouldn't even fucking count. I don't even know what Tim Pool says. Um,
then no,
I
I
haven't
don't
listened to
either.
Tim Pool in fucking a year and a
Years.
half, maybe.
It's been
Anyway,
longer.
would you even if like let's say we had a whole bunch of people watching this, I'm sure there's so many people who are gonna sit out there and be like, "Well, your vote counts." I don't know, does it? Because I got one
Does it?
person saying it doesn't, and I got another person saying it does. So like, does it really
I don't really.
fucking matter if I put an American flag as a bumper sticker on the back of my car, or if I wave the American flag during I don't know a football game? Because honestly, at the point this Earth has come to, me as a 28-year-old man, when if I turn on the TV and somebody says you should go vote tomorrow because it matters, my response is, does it?
My answer is personally no. That's why I'm not planning on voting. Not at this point. Not at
Let
this
me ask you
point.
something. Do you think in like maybe like small little ballots, do you think voting matters? Something for
So
like
like
let's yeah, like
local elections and shit. Yeah.
recrealization of marijuana.
Yeah, things like that.
Do you think
Yes,
that matters?
I'm
You don't think
talking
that's
on a
rigged?
federal scale. No, on a local level, no.
I don't even know anymore. What if it is?
On a local
If the
level,
state what if state governments keep that shit rigged to themselves?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, to
What
be
is the
honest with
difference
you.
between a blue state and a red state? Like if the blue state sucks, like does the red state suck to them? Like do you think like I don't really give a shit. I think everybody needs to fucking like what do you think would happen if every single person on planet Earth just got down and prayed right now the same prayer to God to show his face? Do you think God would show his face?
No,
No? Not
no,
even a prayer that strong?
no, no. He's got. I mean, if you
8
no, in my
billion people?
something like that. I think no. He has. If we're talking about like a god and things like that, he has his own plan, and
What
no
if
matter
that's the
what we do
plan?
is gonna. Well,
What if
then
we're just
yes, he
all retarded?
would.
What if we're all just retarded? I was once told by a man a long time ago, a good friend of mine. He said, everybody thinks man is waiting on God. What if God's just waiting on a moving man? Those words stuck with me for till today, honestly, thinking about that. Maybe he's just waiting on all of us. Uh, can we stop talking
Could
about
be
politics? I feel like we got a little too mean there.
a little too
I'm
mean.
sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, I'm not sorry at all. Fuck politics. Fuck Joe Biden. Fuck you. Fuck them all. Literally, fuck them all. I don't care. You know what I care about? It would be nice to see gas prices go back down. It would be nice to see my groceries be more affordable. It would be nice to see my rent stop going up. It would be nice to be able to afford some things a little bit. I don't care who does that. If the Republic, Biden,
Did it
Trump,
pass?
fucking anyone. I just can you make our lives as a normal everyday middle class person a little bit better, please, please? And then to you other to people out there that get so hyper polarized and whatnot, can y'all just take the sticks up your out of your ass and let's just talk to each other and figure out a way to get some of our fucking middle class wealth back. Let's have a middle class where the quote unquote American dream could live and prosper. That's not a thing anymore. You're either rich or you're poor. You're either a part of that 1% or you're not. The middle class is borderline gone at this point. Houses, take a house for example. You know, you always hear our parents could buy a house that we grew up in back in what, the 70s, 80s, maybe even early 90s for $150,000, and today those houses are worth four more than that. They're probably like 600,000. So us is getting close to 30-year-olds. Like, I mean, I'm not saying, oh, I want to move out and buy a house right here, right now, but like I'm getting close to 30. It's something that's on my mind where I'm like, yeah. I mean, I'm an adult. I'd like to, like, maybe get a family if I meet someone, settle down, have a house. That's not happening
I would
unless I get
agree.
a job. Unless I were to find a job that pays me $150,000 a year, which even then probably 40% of that is going to housing alone. Not to include the other 40% that goes to taxes, which
That
leaves you about 10 to 20% left over.
listen. I'm not mad that I didn't go to college, but like you gotta admit those fuckers who like went into like hydroelectric engineering, like architecture stuff like that. Those like super like
Lawyers,
advanced
doctors,
like
nurses.
math
Yeah.
and science and everything.
Yeah. Very
They may have
specialized
a lot
field.
of debt, but those are people who shot past. And like thinking it back now, in my youth, I do wish I would have paid attention in school a little bit more. But I don't know, dude. I can
I
only
don't,
do
that,
I can only live now. So
I,
and
I do
I'm
agree.
old enough now to where like I truly don't really give a shit what people think about me anymore. So like I don't care. So I just kind of just live. But
And I agree, but I want to say like I don't regret it. I don't regret not going to school, but that is my point. Is is I don't think going to college and becoming one of those specialized careers should be a necessity to be able to live well in the middle class. You get what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
when
like,
you brought back in the 70s and 80s. I mean, wasn't that the whole, or even like the 60s? I guess I should say 60s and 70s, 80s. Wasn't that like the whole point to graduate then go to college? As in today, I mean,
I mean, yeah, that might have been the point, but again, it's not like 80% of people back then were doing it. There was still only, half the
I don't
people
know.
that
I
go to
wasn't
college
around back
graduate.
then.
People back in the 70s and 80s, people were getting a good job at Goodyear, at fucking, trades and things. Okay,
I
here's an
forget.
example.
I
Here's an
forget.
example. I have an example real quick. When my first job was working at a local grocery store, right, in the customer service office as a cashier, and then the customer service, right. My head cashier, she started in the 70s. I'm pretty sure I remember. She started working as a cashier in the 70s. She would tell me that back then she made more money doing that than a nurse would start off. Now, I'm not saying that in my personal opinion, a nurse probably does a
Okay.
better job and should make more money, but that's my point is you could get a normal job, work in it for 10, 20 years,
Yeah, but
work your way
that comes
up
with
and
experience.
live.
That's experience right there. That
Bro, even if we weren't in
10
the restaurant
years.
industry, someone ain't doing that. Someone
Well,
starting
no,
in a
no.
cashier
Listen.
is not going
What?
to be
Hold
making
on.
more.
What you just said was in 10 years she finally got to that.
No, no, she started off that way. She started off and as a cashier making more. And then by the time that she became a head cashier, she was like well above them. And then it slowly started to change over the
Okay.
decades.
In what years? You're telling
I,
you're tell
it was back
you're
in probably the
telling me
70s.
a cashier was making more money than a nurse in the 70s? I have a hard time believing that.
I mean, maybe not just your front line, like ringing out the groceries. She probably obviously got a promotion or two to
That's
probably
what I'm
like
saying.
customer service and
Experience
stuff.
comes with that. Like even if she
Yeah, but
started in there,
it
I'm sure
doesn't
she
take you
had a
15
job
years to
before.
become a customer service. It still
At
was an
least.
affordable wage. It was still affordable. You could
No,
still
I
work towards
understand
it
what you're saying
and work
about.
up. That's
I
what I'm trying to
understand what you're
say.
saying about that. And when you say like, I don't want to get all sexist here, but man, back in the day, dude, women like were supposed to be the wives. You know, they had a job for
Mhm.
like extra money. It still was the man's household. The man was supposed to take care of the family, which I still honestly think is should be like a thing today because we are men. And no, like I love women, I really do, but y'all are not the smartest sometimes.
Hey, you know how many women that I know in my life that I've heard them directly say, you know, hey, I'm for women being able to do everything, but I don't want to do that.
Right?
No,
They're terrible drivers
I'm
too.
telling you,
Women are terrible
if
fucking
I went
drivers.
to my work or anywhere and polled the women there, I guarantee 7 out of 10 of them would probably, maybe even more, maybe even 90% of them would actually agree with that and say that,
It's a man's
yeah,
world,
while I
man.
support a woman being able to go work as a man and do what they do, I, for one, would rather be the housewife.
Take the voting away from women.
I I had I had someone my
Y'all
ex
shouldn't be allowed to vote, you bitch.
she straight up told me one time, she's like, I'd rather give up my rights to my rights to just stay at home and be taken care of. They would rather that. Your
Give up
average
her
woman
rights
would
to
really want that. She's being a little sarcastic, but the underlying tone,
bitches. Bitches
the
be
underlying
hoes.
thought process
Bitches
was
want
that.
clothes. Bitches be
Hey,
hoes. Bitches want
hey,
clothes.
hey, bitches be bitches. I mean, I love bitches, but like basically my only point is unless you become one of them specialized professions, just to wrap this up, is what else are you supposed to do? You don't. The middle class is non-existent anymore unless you go into $150,000 in debt to make $100,000 a year.
Or go circling back to what I said before about going to college. I also do not regret not going to college because I'm not in debt.
Same.
I
Do
can
you
I can
do you
personally
know?
honestly say I have no debt anywhere besides maybe like a fucking hospital bill when I was really fucking stupid drunk one night that I
I agree, and honestly, do you know, like, I forget what the exact statistic is, but if you're debt free, and I'm talking on a global scale, if you are debt free and have something like It's something small, like $1,000 in your in an account and no debt. You're technically in the top percent of the world.
Hell
Top
yeah.
1%. Top one. If you were if you when you factor in people's debt globally, if you have zero debt and $1,000 in your hand, you are in the 1% of the world.
So are we rich?
Factoring in people's debts, yes.
We're sitting here bitching. We're rich apparently.
Yeah, but
I'm not
unfortunately
even
that
rich.
doesn't.
I'm
It
nowhere
just
even close to
doesn't.
being rich.
Yeah,
If I
it
was
just
rich, I'd have
doesn't
an
work
on-air
that
sign
way.
back here. I'd have like a monitor back here playing some goofy shit.
Right, right. Green screens.
I'd have like green lights hanging, turning red and blue and shit. I'd have a Santa hat over there. I wouldn't be in the same room as him. Well, we probably
Hey,
would be. We'd probably be in like a
hey,
studio
hey. Fuck
type.
you.
We'd probably be like in a studio type environment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Not in your
yeah.
fucking living room.
Hey, 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 hey.
I'm not saying anything bad about it.
Don't diss my
I'm not.
living room.
I'm not dissing you. Fuck you. All right. Fuck you. I hated
Get
you in
out of
high
my living
school,
room.
and I
Get
still
out of my
hate you
living room.
today. I fucking will.
Hey, 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 hey. 1-0.
Fuck you. Fuck you, dude.
Sorry, audience. You're not gonna understand that one. That's just an inside joke. We'll explain it some other time. We'll get there. He knows, though. He knows.
All right. Um. So I bought Mortal Kombat 1. Uh. Let me tell you, Shrew, it's a fucking awesome game. I wish you'd buy it. I know you play a lot of Smash, but Mortal Kombat 1 is it's super super fun. The graphics are beautiful, the story is fun. I'm not going to go off on like a super long rant here. We obviously like video games, and we talk about video games probably once a week now, and Modern Warfare 3 hasn't come out yet, but my gaming right now, I've been playing Mortal Kombat 1. I got some time in it, and I actually really enjoy it.
Hell yeah.
It's a fun
Hell
game.
yeah. I
Yeah,
I
if you want to
I've
check it out, you should
watched
check
some
it out.
yeah, I've watched some like streams like Dr. Disrespect and Tim the Tap Man were playing it. Mid I don't know if it was the day it came off. It was a few days ago, sometime last week. And I don't know. There's something about that traditional 2D back and forth kind of fighting game that just doesn't quite hit my itch in terms of fighting games. Like you just said, I play Smash, Super Smash Brothers. While yes, that is a fighting game, 2D fighting game, I think adding the stages with like platforms and things like that, and then the movement all around is just a little bit better. I just enjoy that a little bit more. It really doesn't have anything to do with the characters. While yeah, I do enjoy a lot of Nintendo characters and stuff like that. Versus whoever the people are in Mortal Kombat, as an example. I just
Some of the fatalities in this game are brutal, bro.
yeah, and I've seen some of it, but
Brutal.
that's just not
Brutal.
what I'm
They're
there for. That's not what I'm
ah,
there
it's
for.
so great. Like when you see something you've never seen before and you already got like 15 hours in the game and like you're just like or like you play like 5 matches in a row and a CPU doesn't use a fatality on you and then out of nowhere you just get fatality by the CPU and you've never seen that fatality before in your life, plus they have that other person too, the cameos in there, and it's
Yeah.
fucking awesome, dude. It's an event. I love it.
I don't deny that it's fun. It's just not those types of fighting games were never my thing. I kind of was a Smash guy, and that's where I've stuck in terms of my fighting repertoire. I don't know, just the button combos and stuff like that in traditional fighting games. I don't know. It just wasn't my cup of tea. It just wasn't.
I won 3 online matches the other day with a dude who's just as shitty as I am at Mortal Kombat because neither one of us understand combos. Combos in that game are hard,
I believe it.
very hard.
I do
Like you
believe
can't
that.
just pick up that game and like play every character. Like you gotta pick a character and learn that character before you go to
To be
another character.
to be fair, Smash is
Oh, I
pretty much
believe
the
it.
same thing.
I believe it.
You're not gonna just you pick that up and be like, oh yeah, it's Mario. I know how to
I
play. Like
will
no,
say
I
this Mortal Kombat is a little bit more user friendly than that fucking Dragon Ball Z game that I got on my Switch a few years ago. Because that game, like, you had to like press a button and like swivel the joystick, and
yeah
it was
yeah
very
yeah.
very very complex.
There's some characters like that in Smash where the joystick you have to like tilt it up, right, up, down, and then hit like an input to do a certain move. Not all characters do that, but there's a couple like Street Fighter, like Ryu, Ken, they're in Smash. They're their own fighting game, but they're in Smash. So to do some of their moves, you have to do those specific inputs. And I personally am not a big fan of those types of characters, but that's again just there's 86 characters in Smash, so I can miss out on not playing like 5 of them.
What do you think the next Warzone map's gonna be like?
Based on that screenshot, I'm hoping it's as open as Al Mazr was, but also has like a city kind of
I
area. It
hope it.
looks
I
like
hope it
it's
goes
gonna
back
be
to
that.
150.
Same. I hope
I
it's a
really
big one.
do.
I
I'm
hope it's
excited. I'm
big like
excited
Al
for COD
Mazr
next
was.
when they bring this up Thursday. I think it's Thursday. It's the 5th. Um, I hope it's got more players. It's gonna be cool seeing everybody run around in their skins coming up here and just it's gonna be fun. But I just really hope this Warzone map is super
Good.
super fun. I mean,
Good.
dude, that by that picture, it doesn't look like what we think it's gonna be. Like all those rumors of Las Almas or whatever, it
Mm,
doesn't look like that.
I agree with
It looked
that.
like it had some like fog over it, some clouds. Okay,
I'm thinking it's gonna be as open as Al Mazrah was. My biggest concern is it's not gonna be as big as Al Mazrah. It's gonna be a smaller one, like that 75 to 100, somewhere in there. I want that big openness like Al Mazrah was, because Al
I'm sure
Mazrah
it'll be
that
big
map
no
was
matter
just
what. It'll be big no matter what. I mean, even fucking for dance goes
I
big.
don't know. I don't know because whatever the fuck they've been doing is not it, Chief. We've been over this.
Yeah, we got a
Whatever
whole
they've been
episode.
doing recently, whatever they've been doing these past couple of seasons is not it, Chief. So, you tell me. But as long as I don't know, as long as it's fun, it's open, and they keep fucking duos,
Oh, duos will be there right off the rip. I'm sure of that.
it fucking better be.
I
I
doubt
know it
though.
will be right off.
I
Right off
highly
rip,
doubt
it,
they
it
don't
most likely
release
will
this
be.
version of
But
Warzone. But like people are gonna bitch and complain about this game. I guarantee when this game comes out, dude, people hate on it just like Modern Warfare 2. I
most likely,
guarantee it. I know that's what's gonna happen. I'm like so
I
sure.
could see that. I could see that happening too, for sure, for sure.
You want to
But we
talk
don't need
to
to get too deep
us
into that.
about climate change?
About climate change, that's where we're
My
we're
buddy
gonna go.
Shrew
We
is
go
very.
from our gamings back to
I
climate
know we
change.
were halfway through that, and I'm like, I probably should have put that after the Nickelback and Wonderwall segment, but I was
Yeah,
drunk when I
well,
wrote this, so leave me alone.
that's fine. Uh, you want to start on that one, and I'll go off of that. I mean,
Climate
or
change?
yeah,
This was your idea
I know. I was just letting you know if you want. I wanted to hear what you had to say, unless
about
you want
climate
me to.
change.
Yeah, unless you have want me to speak first.
I have a thought, and you remember? Do you remember the string of tornadoes that happened earlier this year? That spanned across
Yeah,
all of America. There was like 100 and
yeah.
some tornadoes on the same day. I have a
Yeah.
feeling that might start happening every year, like in May or April, whenever it was. Like there's just
Mm-hmm.
going to be a sweep of tornadoes that happen every year. That's scary to think. That's very scary to think. Um, Climate change. I mean, I don't know. The planet, I guess, is getting warmer. My thoughts is like, do you think like any sort of like climate change could help any other spot on the planet? Like, do you think like as a planet as like a whole, where we all live like in shitty conditions, like climate change will like shift it to where we could go somewhere else on the planet and like becomes the new Antarctica over here or over here?
I mean, yeah, in theory that would happen. My thing with climate change is really honestly, I mean, I guess the word climate. And we're talking about the climate of the planet, right? And if we're going by scientific terms, our planet's been around for what, like 4.4 billion years, I think it is. Billion.
I'm pretty sure I just read an article that James Webb telescope. It's older. They just found out it's older.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so it might even be more than 4 billion years,
Yeah,
right?
I think that's what happened. They just found out
And
it's like over
we
200 billion more years.
yeah, okay. So we're talking about climate change and what we observe and see. Now, we've only really, in a modern sense, been recording, like climate data and stuff like that for what, maybe 150 years ish, mid 1800s, somewhere in there, 1850 to
Who do you think thought of
1900,
that?
somewhere in there.
Who do you think thought of
So
that? We should record this. A tornado happened last night. Write that down.
I mean, some smart people. I'm not. That's a good thing to do.
Could you
That's
imagine
a good
seeing a
thing to
tornado
do.
for the first time in like 1500? I would think
Right?
God
Like,
was killing
oh
us.
my God. Well,
I would think
that
it was
yeah,
God.
we've come a
I would
long
think
way.
it was
We've come a long
God.
way. We've come a long way. That's what people used to think. That's why we had sun gods and weather gods and Zeus and fucking all that shit. That's what people thought. But
Nostradamus.
in today's world, the idea that the climate is changing, while I don't disagree with the idea the climate is changing because the climate is changing, my thing is though, the climate is literally always changing. We've gone through two provable ice ages, you know? And then what if and but that's the thing, and that's why I brought in the years, is it takes place over such a long period of time. Ice ages lasted tens of thousands of years, and then it warmed up for tens of thousands of years. So, when you look at it, okay, yeah, we see in the past, 50 years, the globe is increasing in temperature. I'm not going to jump to the conclusion that one, that's only due to humans. I'm not saying we don't play a role in it. I think we do. Obviously, modern technology and emissions, things like that, sure, that probably does play a role into it. But to just jump to this conclusion of, oh my God, we're driving too many fossil fuel cars, we're going to burn alive in the next 50 years. I just don't believe that. There were periods in Earth's history where literally we were in an ice age. There were periods
We
where
used
the
to
polar
drop bombs
caps
on the planet too.
recede. Exactly.
I'm
I,
pretty
I
sure we
just
still do. I think North Korea still tests bombs out in the
you
ocean.
remember that you remember that hole in the ozone that we used to grow up over Antarctica?
No.
There was a hole over the ozone layer. I remember it as we were growing up. I remember always used to hearing about it over Antarctica, and it was growing bigger and bigger. We solved that. We fixed it. There's no hole in the ozone anymore.
That's fucking late.
Right?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Right? We fixed that.
That's
So
a little bit of shrew knowledge for me today. I've learned something today.
yeah, I watched a video on it like literally like a week ago. It was kind of cool how we did that and whatnot. But
Isn't the main concern of climate change like rising sea levels? Isn't that the main concern?
I mean, yeah, but again, you're talking for the sea levels to rise to a point where say like Florida is just all underwater. That's not going to happen in 10, 20, 50 years. That's going to take probably hundreds, if
Well,
not thousands of years.
excuse
So
me. Hold
why
on,
are
hold
we
on.
going to these extremes?
Excuse me for having a heart, but like maybe people are trying to save the future.
Okay. I get what you're saying,
Maybe they're like
but
trying to be like, yo, like we have so much technology and books and things recorded now that like we're not going to be here in the year 2150, but in the year 2150 they'll have the knowledge of us.
I get what you're saying. Though I kind of have a couple points. One, I'm just going to straight up say I don't really think land is an issue. Like, let's say all of Florida and the coast recede a little bit, people just move in a little bit. It's not like the entire middle part of this country is occupied land. Go Nebraska, Dakotas, Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, Oklahoma, Colorado, Montana. Like they're the idea that there's not enough land for us to live on that's just not true. That's so yeah, it would suck to see like all these coastal cities that we have now be underwater, but the idea that that's going to be some catastrophe that's going to kill millions of people, no. People are going to it's going to slowly start happening and we're going to realize that hey, we need to start moving infrastructure in. We need to do things. Not to mention how land is created, volcanoes out in Hawaii and in the Pacific and stuff. Land is still going to be created. There's not going to be a
The
point
day a
where,
volcano erupts is going to be a wild day. Like a devastating volcano.
like Yellowstone or
If
something.
Yellowstone erupts, we're fucked.
Well, exactly. So,
Because it's going to happen one day.
exactly. But I don't think we can do anything about that.
Do anything about that? No.
No, exactly. So let's stick to more practical things. Now, again, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to try and find ways for alternative energies in terms of like fossil fuels and gas. You know what I mean? Like if we could get to a
Question:
point where yeah, an electric car is more economical and efficient than using gas and oil, then by all means, let's do that. That's
I
a
have
good thing.
I have a question. Do
Yeah.
wildfires cause climate change? I don't know. I'm gonna Google it.
That's the
Like
thing.
all those fires in Canada. Like, do you think that fucked us over? Do you remember how
I don't
smoky it was
think we
here?
can prove it. I don't think we can prove it.
What do you mean?
We're talking about things that have happened across billions of years. Did a wildfire that happened a billion years ago cause climate change?
It
Well,
says
I don't know. We're
it
still
says
here.
it says beyond the human and societal impacts, wildfires also affect the Earth's climate. Forests, in particular, store large amounts of carbon. When they burn, they immediately release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, which in turn contributes to climate change.
Okay, that's climate change. Is that a negative thing though?
I don't know.
I don't. That's my thing is I don't think that that's a negative thing. The climate's always changing. Wildfires have happened throughout history, and we're
I'm
still
not
here.
saying the climate isn't always changing. I'm just your
I don't
idea of the climate is always changing. Like I feel like scientists they 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 want to predict the future is their ultimate goal. Is they want to know what the weather is going to be like 10 years from now so they can
possible.
eventually warn us. I think that's the whole point.
Without some massive leap in technology, that is not possible. I don't believe that being possible.
Like
And
dark
I am
matter.
yeah, like I'm talking like that next level leap where we go from like us to like being able to travel to Mars on like, a charter plane, like or a charter rocket.
I
Like
was born on Mars.
that's my thing is I don't think this is all just so I don't think we need to be so doom and gloom about it. I guess is my thing. I think it's good to study these things. I think it's good to predict patterns and try and figure out better ways to treat the climate better. Yes, I don't think it's wise to be doing some of the things, but at the same time, I don't think just because we're burning fossil fuels or where wildfires are happening that oh my god, it's going to cause the climate to rise 10 degrees and our grandkids are going to be dead. Like no, I just don't believe that. I don't believe that. There's no way. The climate's always changing. Things have always been going on. Let's take a step back. Let's continue to invest in the science behind it and see what's really going on. Again, we're talking we've been studying this for 150
There's
years out of
also
4 plus billion.
also solid waste contributes directly to greenhouse gas emissions through the generation of methane from the anaerobic decay of waste in landfills and the emissions of nitrous oxide from our solid waste combustion facilities. So littering.
Did you know that more carbon dioxide in the air would actually just make plants grow bigger? And it wouldn't actually do too much in terms of the makeup of the atmosphere?
So you're saying we'd have like fucking like 20-foot tall dandelions?
Yeah, you know how we know that?
Hold on, wait. Fun thought. Uh, my favorite flower is a moonflower. So like, they're flowers that bloom in the fucking moon. They're fucking
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
I just
I know
had a
what you're talking
thought.
about.
Like a fucking 20-foot like moonflower would look fucking
Yeah,
sick. It would. I would feel
yeah,
like I was in a fantasy realm and I should have a fucking tail with like pointy ears. I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah. I,
That sounds like fun.
that's it's I'm pretty sure provable like
Why
through
can't
fossils and stuff like that, like archaeology. There was a
why can't
time
life
in
be
her
like that? I want a fantasy world where there's nothing about climate change, there's nothing about politics. I have a tail and a damn dream, and we don't
yeah,
need
you
meat
fucking
to eat.
furry.
I'm fucking.
You have a tail, you fucking furry. Confirmed. You heard it here, folks.
You're a zebra too. Shut the fuck up.
I'm a zebra, but I'm not a furry.
Yo, I will attack the fuck out of you.
You're gonna be the first zebra who gets a taste of meat, a taste of blood. Turns them into a whole different species. But that's my thing. Is there were periods in Earth's history where there was, I'm pretty sure you could say twice as much carbon dioxide in the atmosphere as there is now. And you know what ended up happening is we you can look it up and prove it out there, people. Plants absorb carbon dioxide, right? That's what they do. They take it in and then produce oxygen that we breathe. So when you put more that's their food. That's their food. So when you put more of it out there, the plants have more food. And what happens when things get more food? They grow bigger, they bulk up, they become stronger, things like that. So there was a period where, yeah, there were fucking plants that were 20 feet
20 feet
tall.
moonflowers.
Yeah, exactly. They became bigger and they compensated for that. They did. That like certain animals and stuff. Remember how like you've heard like insects and bugs used to be huge, you
No.
know, millions of years ago and stuff like that. Certain like dinosaurs and stuff like that. They I have more faith in just life and the earth. The earth's been doing this literally infinitely longer than we have. And I have faith in the planet as a living organism and
Hold on.
everything that makes it up to
So
to
you're saying
compensate.
so you're saying if we just continue driving our cars for the next 20 years, or no, let's not even say 20 years. Let's say 200 years. You think the earth will still be the same as it is today?
The same as in its literal
Climate,
climate.
literally.
Yeah, basically. Maybe 1,000 years we might see like a huge notice.
Okay.
Now
Okay,
let me just
let me
throw
ask
this
you
out.
something. In 1,000 years, do you think we'll have 20 feet moonflowers?
Probably not.
Bummer.
I don't know. In 1,000 years, I doubt humanity will even be around. To be completely honest with you, because that's what I'm gonna say. Now, like I'm talking in a general everyday kind of sense. Obviously, if World War III breaks out and 1,000 nukes are dropped across the world, yeah, something that's gonna cause massive disruption. There are ways, if every nuclear reactor just
I
started
was more
breaking down
thinking we just
things,
keep
but
going
like
the path we're going right now.
I think we'll be fine. I really do. Because here's the thing, one, fossil fuels aren't going to last forever. So sooner or later, we're going to have to figure out a way to power all of our stuff without using oil and fossil and natural gas, things like that. We're going to have to figure out a different way, regardless. So,
Can't we power stuff with water?
yeah,
Yeah.
water is actually one of the
I was
most
gonna say I feel like I remember learning
efficient
that. The
things.
wheel in the river.
Hydroelectrics.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that produces a lot of energy. There are things we can do. So I'm just saying, where we're at right now, no, I don't think that what we're doing is one, gonna cause some imminent catastrophe in even 500 years. I just don't see that. I think that we'll be fine. And two, I think that or I really do have more faith in just the globe as a whole to be able to regulate itself and to do things. Again, barring us doing something catastrophic like nuking ourselves to oblivion and things like that.
I don't
You
think
know,
that'll ever
but
happen.
every day kind of just driving and it just everything we use oil and stuff for, like everything, powering things, electric plants, things like that. Again, I'm not saying it's a bad thing to move away from these things. I think we do and we should look to more efficient and better energy solutions. But no, I don't think because you're driving your car 15 miles to work is causing the globe to all of a sudden heat up, and in 20 years we're gonna be doomsday, like that kid from fucking Sweden or whatever got on stage and you're killing us. How dare you, little bitch? Go get in school. Learn how to read. Like,
What was
what
it?
the fuck are you doing?
No, what was it? Those fucking climate change activists that fucking threw the shit at the painting in the art museum
Yeah,
in
yeah.
France
Like
earlier this year.
I don't
Like,
think we
what the
need to be
fuck is
doing
that?
that. We don't need to be doing that. You guys are literally just batshit insane that don't know how to think of a
How
problem.
dare you for having a fucking opinion, True? You know
I
what I'm gonna
know,
go? You know
right?
what I'm gonna go fucking do?
I'm gonna be
I'm gonna
canceled
get in
after
my
this one.
fucking car. I'm literally going to. I'm literally. I'm gonna drive into a movie theater, and I'm just gonna like scream really loud during every movie that I attend for climate change because of you bitch.
Well, I guess this is going to be the
Fuck
last
you,
episode of
Shroom.
The Naked Zebras.
Do you imagine that you just go sit down and fucking watch a movie and like me just over there, climate change, climate change, climate change. I can see it now, literally
I
like
wouldn't
getting
be
on
your
fucking
friend.
Twitter and like
I
just like
wouldn't be
seeing a
your
fucking
friend.
video pan over and you just see me, climate change, climate change, climate change.
Like those people, they
If
literally
I
just
ever do
need to
that,
chill the fuck out
if
and
I ever
just
do that, smack me.
yeah, they need to just chill, smoke a bowl, go on a hike, do whatever, and just calm down. It's okay. It's okay. We are fine. Fine. In the words of Aaron Rodgers, relax. RELAX. Relax.
Our general sense of the economy nowadays is every price has risen so goddamn much. It's honestly crazy.
Too much. Rent is too damn high.
I have noticed it more this year than I did last year. How much everything has actually went up.
Have noticed it
Oh
more.
yeah, this year,
Yeah, yeah.
as of
Same.
right now, compared to 2 years ago, everything's like a dollar, $1.50 more.
Same. It's same. It,
I think
it, it, it
like this bottle of Pepsi, like 2 years ago, I think was like a dollar fucking
all right.
59. These
Here's an example.
they're like 2.30 now.
Yeah. Here's an example at restaurants because I work at it. You know how much just a Coke is? A pop? You go to a restaurant, you order a pop.
I don't know.
At least at my restaurant, 3.25. When I started as a server, those were like a buck 99, buck 75. I mean, granted, a few years in these past 2 years since COVID happened, I've seen them go up about $1. Just even little things like that.
Do you think it's worrisome? Do you think we should all worry? Going back to what you said earlier about the
I
rich.
think
Hold
that's a
on.
bigger concern than
Going
climate change. Yes.
going back to what you said earlier when we were talking about politics about shit, I lost my train of thought. Do you think it's a concern we should have fucking the economy shit going higher? What the fuck was I going to say?
Yes.
Shit.
Yes, I do. I do think I would say that's one of our should be your average person's biggest concern is the economy because that's really where it hurts. You know, like we can deal with I can deal with stupid sleepy Joe. I can deal with this bullshit or whatever. But when you're talking about can I afford food? Can I afford gas? Can I afford rent? When people really that's hitting people where they hurt. You know what I mean? So the harder and tougher
Oh, I
that
remember.
is.
So what you
Uh,
were saying earlier about the 1% and the you're poor. You're either poor or the 1%. With everything going up, do you think that just keeps
yeah,
everything like where it's
that's
just
making the
spreading everything more and more and
yeah.
more?
That's exactly what's happening right now. Is the economy's getting bad. The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. The
So
middle class is being shrunken out
if
without
that's
a
the
doubt.
case, why do you think they keep raising minimum wage?
It's like a bone.
What do you mean like a bone? Okay, I have another question. Hold on. I have a few. So they keep raising minimum wage. If they never raised minimum wage or never raised the prices on anything and just kept the prices the same as like they were forever ago, like what is the difference between today and like 20 years ago? Let's say I made $5 an hour 20 years ago. Gas was 50 cents. Okay, let's say I make I don't know, $20 an hour today. Gas is 3.05. What's the difference? You see what I'm saying? I know I'm terrible at
Your
math, so
buying
like
power. You're right on the money though.
but
That's the
like
point.
if it's the
Is you're
same thing
making
here and the
more,
same thing
but
here,
your
what
spending
is
is the same. It doesn't. It, if
does
yeah,
that it
we're
might have to do with other
raising.
countries. It may have to do with the way
Well, yeah, at
their
this
prices
point it's a
work out.
global
Oil
thing.
maybe.
Yeah, at
Um
this point it is a global thing. But we could do little things like manufacturing things here in America as opposed to outsourcing them everywhere. You know, taxes are a big one. Just your buying power. A dollar. You have a dollar. What you can do with that dollar is less than what you could have done with that dollar 50 years ago. That's
when
the
you were talking
problem.
about houses earlier,
That's the
when
problem.
you were talking about houses earlier, I do agree with that. Even kind of buying cars.
Yes, cars are in a very similar spot as houses are, just obviously not quite as expensive in a general sense.
But like $1 100 years ago,
$1 100 years ago was a lot of money.
that's what I'm saying. Like, what could you buy with $1 100 years ago?
Everything you needed. You could afford food for the week. You could afford, if you made $1 a day back then. Obviously I don't know the exact what it was, but that's what I'm saying. The money you made back then went farther in terms of its buying power. Today, you need $2 to buy the same amount of stuff that used to cost $1. You get what I'm saying there?
Okay, so let's just think about today then. In 50 years, do you think you'll need $3 to buy the same stuff that you bought for $2 today?
I don't know. That's something I wonder myself is where does this go? Where does this stop? Right? Because that's a very good question. My thought is like, okay, if we're already in 2023, spending whatever we're spending, and minimum wage is like 15 now, and in a lot of places, and getting raised to that. In like 30 years, is minimum wage gonna have to be $25 an hour? And rent, let's just it like, you know, rent is gonna be 3,000 a month, but yet you make 6,000 a month? So the percentages that you would
Why?
spend on your income are the same.
So,
That's
but
the
why? Why?
problem.
Why would they just keep? If that's the case, why do they keep raising it? Like,
I mean, I
What
don't know. I don't
is it?
work for
Is
the
is
Fed.
it a? Do you think it's like an ease of mind technique? Like maybe the general populace will just be happier if we abide by saying more money is coming to them. Maybe they think we're stupid.
Yeah, they do. I 100% believe that. Yeah,
Like,
they do
oh,
think we're
what
stupid.
if we say we're
They do
raising
think we're
minimum
stupid.
wage, then
Yeah,
a lot of people are going to think that's good for the economy, though
yeah.
everything else is just going to like go like them raising the prices have gotten higher over the past 2 years, but minimum wage has not been uh hired, or what would
Raised.
raised. I was gonna say risen. Um, but now that they're actually going to raise the minimum wage here in the state that we're in, at least over the next few years, um, do prices still keep getting higher, or do prices stay the
Yes,
same over the next few years? And
they
with
keep
next
getting
year's
higher.
election, depending on whoever wins president next year, does that cause any change in the economy? Like, if Trump wins again next year, assuming he really gets a chance to run, yeah, do prices go back down? Is it fucking 2017 all over again? If Biden wins, do they just keep fucking going higher? What if Trump wins and the world gets worse? What if prices just keep going higher and higher and higher, and he can't do anything to save us? Like, I'm very worried about next year. I don't know.
Where are you going with this? Is there a question in there? Because you're just rambling about things that I don't.
What I
There's no answer for that. Yes, you're right. Is the thing. What you're saying there is correct. That's the problem. We
Yeah,
don't know,
yeah.
and if you want to get into like, okay, the presidency, obviously people that are Republicans are gonna say, they're gonna tell you, yeah, if Trump gets him back in office, he's going to do things that are going to try and revert and bring prices back down. People on the other side are going to say, Democrats are going to say, the partisans on each side are going to say their side is going to help, right? That's a given. Now, we did see, like you just said, when Trump came in, I remember gas getting cheap again. There was a time when it was like a buck 70, buck 60, buck 80, somewhere in there, like late 2019.
When Obama was president, it was cheap too. Trust me. I used to work at a gas station a long
Yeah,
time
but
ago.
it's consistently gone up. So that's the thing, is just because we raise minimum wage up does not mean, yeah, you're making more money, but if everything goes up relative to the money that you're making now, it doesn't matter. If you make X amount of money in a month, and let's say you make 5 grand a month, and 3,400 of that has to go to taxes and bills, which leaves you with what, 1,800 ish, 1,200 ish. or 1600 ish by by that example, leaves you with $1,600 of disposable income. You can save it, spend it, do what you want, right? Let's say they raise minimum wage. Now you're making 6 grand a month, but all your bills go up as well. And you're still only having 1600 disposable income. That's the problem. You need to make more money, but prices need to either stay the same or go down so that way you have more disposable income. What's happening right now is I personally think they're raising it because they have to, because at this point it's so bad that yeah, there's no without making at least what 18 an hour right
I,
now,
I, I
you're not
also
living on your own. You're not you're just not doing it.
I also think worker demand is a big thing, especially in like processing and everything, because a lot of the younger generation, like they don't really just like go into that. I mean, me and you work in restaurants. We're not fucking packing shit. We're not cutting fruit. We're not. We have no business in that industry whatsoever. We're not truck drivers, and believe it or not, I truly do believe that is getting very very small by the day. The amount of people who actually want to perform the most physical labor tasks on America
Hmm.
in factories. And I mean, I guess you could call me and you, or you and I should say, piece of shits for that because we'd rather work in restaurants, even though I cook people's food and people spend their money on that. But it's I honestly think, which going into our next topic too, and we can go back to economy, we can mush this into the whole entire thing. AI, a lot of places are using robotics too, and if they're using robotics, they don't have to pay anybody, and from there they can just fucking set their prices at whatever the fuck they want. Uh, I I think a lot of it also comes from corporate greed and the rich people wanting to be richer while not giving a fuck about us as well.
I mean, 100%. I think part of it too, though, to be fair, is the economy as a whole. As a whole, the U.S. economy, we are not a manufacturing economy. You know, you look at like China and stuff. Their economy is very, very heavy on the manufacturing. That's where a lot of their GDP. That's where a lot of people make their living. Things like that. Here in America, at this point, your average person, we're a service and industry kind of economy. We make money on entertainment, on service. Honestly, I would say what we do as servers and cooks and stuff like that is more valuable
We're very
than anything else.
technological too.
Yeah, exactly. Innovation,
We yes,
sciences, the
yes.
technologies, things like that's where our economy is. We are not a manufacturing base. While we still do have,
I mean, fuck,
we're the second
they
largest.
got
We are the
regulations
second
in place
largest,
for a
but
little fucking silicone chip that goes into our fucking game consoles, man.
yeah, well, those are very high end pieces of technology right there. Those need to be, monitored. I guess you can't just
Why is it
have
gonna blow
faulty
the fuck
things.
up?
It could, yeah, yeah, like you're talking the
If you've
transistors and
if
stuff
you've
like that.
listened
Like
to
those are.
if you've gotten this far into the Naked Zebras podcast, I think you've gotten the general sense that Corey here's the smarter one, and I'm kind of retarded. You say shit to me, and I'm like, God damn, I'm fucking stupid.
It's
I
okay,
would
bro.
be so shocked, like if like I went into like a silicone chip factory and like some scientist in a fucking lab coat was like, well, if that gets above like 30 degrees Celsius, Nick, and it mixes with the wrong fucking chemical, it can blow up.
Hmm.
And then I go, well, why do you put it in our consoles then? And it's like, well, do you normally throw your PS5 in a hydrochloric acid?
Yeah. Well, it's things like I'm pretty sure that like those factories, those fabricator factories that make like CPUs and computer chips and stuff like that are on all of our devices and stuff. Those are some of the most highly sophisticated factories and labs. Like, and not only that, but sterile. Like, I'm talking, you have to wear full on
Oh, I
like
believe it.
even a little, like say like a little, a little strand of hair gets into one of those chips as they're being built, it completely ruins it. Like you have to have like things like that in particular are very very, very expensive and high manufacturing costs and like sterile. They have to have perfect temperatures. The environment they're manufactured in has to be, you know, certain moisture levels can't be, once they're built and they're put in the cases, they're okay. But like if you were to break apart your CPU in your computer and the second you expose it to any outside elements, it's never going to work again. It's going to break.
Uh, I thought we had like a really good like slide into, and I have no idea what the hell we were talking about. So
Well, I know. I mean, we were
we
talking
were
about
talking
like
about the
the
economy. I
economy
know
and like
that, but
how I was gonna start getting into something in specific with economy into AI and stuff.
well, yeah, that's where we're going next. The good old artificial intelligence, everybody.
Yeah. So I think a big thing that we're gonna have to figure out over the next, I don't even know, probably 10, 20, 30 years, somewhere in there. Um, robotics and AI being able to do jobs that people currently do, and those kinds of things taking over. So what are we going to do with all those people that no longer have jobs? What are we going to do? Like what? Like we got to figure something out here. I have no idea what that solution is, but I do think that that is a genuine concern.
I have an issue about AI, and it has to do with music. And I've written a lot of rhymes in my life. Okay, never once have I ever Googled a rhyme. Everything I've wrote, came straight from my brain. And they have these apps nowadays, Corey, where like you could just like fucking create a whole ass verse, dude. And sometimes I listen to this
Yeah,
shit
I
and
know.
like I wonder if people are actually even saying what they really, if it's even really them, you know what I mean? Or if it's somebody else, a computer to be um
I mean
technical.
gonna be that's gonna be a problem. I don't think exactly at this moment it's quite the problem. We're starting to see where it'll head, but that is gonna be a thing. Is
I
imagine
I would
imagine the
imagine
first
in
imagine
about
the
in
first
5 years
artist.
AI will be able to make musical instruments.
I would agree. So my question is, imagine that first artist that completely becomes famous due to their music, but the music is all AI, right?
They'd probably call them
Almost
AI.
almost like finding out, let's say you went to Taylor Swift's concert and she was auto tuning or lip syncing up there, right? People would freak out. So
I think that's
is it
against
going
the
to be a
law.
similar kind of thing where like do you give credit to the person that used the AI to create these things? Does the AI get credit? Like just those kinds of questions. Like I mean, obviously an AI,
Well,
like
what are
you're
your
not going to give it
feelings on Chat?
credit,
What
but
are your feelings on Chat GPT? Have you ever
on
talked to an
Chat
AI?
GPT,
I
no,
have.
I've avoided doing that so
I have.
far.
You've never even like just tried it.
No, no.
It's intense.
I've like watched videos and stuff about it. Like I've seen people do it, but I've never done it myself. I don't know. That's the thing. Things like that. This is a tricky one because I don't think it's inherently bad. I think that AI and whatnot, like the idea of AI, I think those are good things and what they can
Well,
do for us as a
AI
species.
and there's AI in video games.
Yeah, like yes, yes, rudimentary. Yes, I
Like
understand what
if
you're
you're
saying. Yes.
playing the CPU, you are playing an AI.
Yes, and yes, exactly. So I don't think they're bad. I guess it's just we are getting to a point now where AI are starting to be able to do things that are human, I guess. And I, I don't know. The thing is with AI right now is they're really like deep learning machines. You know, they're not like true intelligence, like an artificial intelligence where that AI is sitting there having thoughts
Do you
and thinking through. It's a thought. It's a learning machine, and it's using probabilities and things like that.
do you
But
think our algorithms are AI?
like the YouTube algorithm.
Our algorithms, like when you're on the computer, you're on your phone. Like, do you think that's an AI?
No, I think an AI is different than an algorithm. They're not one and the same. I
What
don't
makes you say
think.
that?
I
You
think
don't you
an
don't think
AI
an
could use an
algorithm
algorithm.
you don't think the algorithm is learning you?
No, I think you have to program the algorithm to do a certain set of things and to look out for a certain set of things. I think an AI could use an algorithm. There might, sure, maybe there's an AI behind it, but an algorithm is not an artificial intelligence. I would say those are two different things. At least I think. Obviously, I'm not well versed in.
It says, to summarize, algorithms are automated instructions and can be simple or complex depending on how many layers deep in the initial algorithm goes. Machine learning and artificial intelligence are both sets of algorithms, but differ depending on whether the data they receive is structured or unstructured.
Okay.
I would imagine that means yes, right? Depending on how many layers deep
Well,
the
maybe it
initial
means
algorithm goes. Machine learning and
maybe
artificial intelligence are both sets of algorithms. So an AI is
in
an algorithm,
a complex one,
a
I
very
guess.
very yeah
A
complex.
very complex
And
one. Because well,
from
that's
what
what
I'm
I
looking
said.
here is machine learning and artificial intelligence are very two different things, and that's what you just said. Deep learning.
Yeah, there because a true AI would be the idea of like Mass Effect, like the Geth or something like that, where
Yes.
they think about like it's an intelligence. It can think. It knows what it's doing. Right now, AI are still, I think, mostly at the point where they're more just learning machines. You 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 give it a set of instructions, and it takes knowledge to it. Like it has to, like, okay, like computers being able to beat chess and stuff like that. That's because that computer has ran and played every single imaginable position in the game, so it knows what the best moves are to do because it's seen every move to make. You get what I mean? Like, it's
No, I understand
learned.
what you're saying.
But it's not like a conscious intelligence, like when a human is sitting there thinking about its moves. It's not sitting there thinking about its moves. It's sitting there like, okay, I've seen a game, where that piece is moved, so I already know that the best next move to make is going to be this. It's using
Do you
experience to do things.
do you think one day we'll be in such a futuristic world to where robots can do everything for us that we won't ever have to do anything
Like Wally.
but live in our virtual machines?
So you're talking like the metaverse or something like that, or
Not
the
even that.
Matrix, like
Just
we're
no,
literally gonna
no,
all
no,
be
not like
living
that.
through.
Like robots do everything. So the robots are making the food, the robots are manufacturing everything,
Yeah,
the
yeah, okay.
robots are pumping gas,
I see what you're saying. I think we could get to a point there. I
the
think that
robots are
something
telling us
like
the
that
news to
it's
where
gonna I something
we don't
like
have to
that is
do
gonna still
anything.
be a long time. Something like that is still gonna be a long time, like another 50, 100 years at least before that kind of,
You don't.
robotics and machine learning really like is at
Speaking of
that kind
which,
of point, but
I do
possible.
wholeheartedly believe we are inching closer to a cyberpunk world every day. Dude, every day I drive down the street, man, I see people different colored hair. Dude, we look more like Cyberpunk 2077 every fucking year that passes. I
I
am
agree.
not even joking. There's things where
I agree.
I drive down the street nowadays and I'm like I can't even believe it. Like I would imagine when me and you were like in our 50s and 60s, it will almost kind of look like that.
I could see that. Yeah, I do agree with that. Uh, I don't know the degree it'll get to be honest with you. I think we're headed in that direction. Um, I true. You're talking about things that I have no idea what the ramifications for something like that would be. you know, because if we do really get to a point where robots and stuff and AI are taking over those kinds of things, you're talking millions upon millions of people not having jobs. Well, what do 30 million people that 20 years ago used to be working that aren't what are they doing?
The metaverse.
That's what I'm saying. Is that what it's going to be? So the
Sit on their
1%, the
computer,
people that
watch
run
TV,
these people that run these things are going to be working, and then literally 90% of us are just going to be
doing nothing.
literally doing nothing. That sounds like the end of the world to me.
Yeah, that sounds like an antichrist type of world.
That sounds like a true like dystopian kind of like
No real meaning of life, you know.
no purpose. Yeah, you're going to be talking suicides. You're going to be talking drugs,
I
fucking
bet drugs would be the worst part.
crime, and all of it's going to be really bad. So I think that you're talking about things that are just if that truly happens, man,
Do you think machine implants are
I
coming
don't
into the
want to do
body?
it.
Like 100 years from now, you think people are gonna be
Maybe a
just
hundred
makes my
years from now,
arm work like an actual robotic arm?
probably. I could see it. Yeah,
I bet
I could see it.
I bet in 150 years there's a half robot person. I don't think their brain will be completely us human, but like I could see a
Yeah,
car accident taking off a leg and an arm, and just it's all you couldn't even basically
kind of
tell it's a
like Luke Skywalker's new arm after it got cut off.
even more advanced.
Well, it doesn't get much more advanced than Star Wars.
That's completely wrong, bro. Battlestar Galactica is way better than Star Wars.
Okay, better is different than advanced. But you get my point. I'm not trying to be a semantic about like, oh, Galactic Battlestar is more advanced. I'm just saying the fact that yeah, you could just have this you reattach an arm that's artificial. I would assume that yes, assuming the way that we're going, yeah, we will get to that point. Again, I just don't know what that looks like in terms of your everyday kind of life and what society will really look like
I
because
personally think we haven't realized how far into the future we actually are. I don't think we'll ever have flying cars. It's too dangerous. I'm not saying they can't
yeah,
make
flying
flying
cars is
cars,
an
but
unrealistic
this
thing I think
is
too,
way
but
too fucking dangerous. Um,
no, it's going to be stuff on a more tangible level that we don't think about. Like grocery shopping.
augmented
Send the robot to
reality.
go do it.
That's the next step.
Drone can come bring it to you.
Augmented
Yeah, things
reality.
like that. Things like
Glasses.
that. Yeah.
Beep. I
Yeah.
could just sit here and do all this right here
Yeah.
with my
Have like
finger,
a
but it's
HUD.
just, yeah. I would
Yeah,
imagine
like
that's
a
the
HUD through
next
your
big piece of
glasses.
technology. Will, I mean, the Apple Vision
Probably.
Pro. That,
Yeah.
that wait till it's the fucking Apple Vision Pro 5, man. It's literally going to
Yeah.
be a pair of glasses.
I agree. I just again, my thing is I don't know what that means for society. Again, that sounds very
Well,
dystopian.
that's where I told you I'm telling you, dude, the future is going to be us literally just what we'll have nothing to do
It sounds horrible.
except fucking play video games and masturbate.
Truly, that sounds horrible, and
I saw an
I
article.
don't see
I didn't
I
read
don't
it, but
see a species surviving.
they think we'll be having sex with robots within the next 10 years.
That's crazy.
I think yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, I don't even know what to say to that. That just sounds crazy. I mean, but at the same time, that could just be me living in, you know, I'm an adult. I've lived in this life and how it is, you know, a kid that's like 4 right now grows up with these things. And that's just second nature. That's just how life is. So maybe it isn't as doom and gloom as I think, you know,
When
because
we were
I don't live
4,
with it. But
it was 1999 when we were 4.
yep, that's what I'm
Ocarina
saying.
of Time had only been out for a year.
Yep. 3D graphics were just a thing. Imagine a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old right now, in another 25 years once they hit like 30, like
I remember being a
what
kid
I
playing the
might
game
consider
too, man.
dystopian might be just the norm. But I don't know. I don't know where that goes. All I can tell you is right now, I mean, even with the economy and things as it is and the AI and stuff, people, you know, suicides across the board are raising, crimes raising, drug use is raising. Like I see a lot of those things getting worse and I just don't know what happens at that point. If in 35 years there's an entire generation, that middle class, that is going to be, coming into power in terms of like government seats and stuff like that. They've never worked a job in their life. They've been pampered by AI and robots and never touched another human. They're having sex with robots and stuff like that. That doesn't, I don't know. That just doesn't seem like life. Do you get what I mean? Like that just doesn't what's the point? What would be the point? I don't know.
I think.
And I think that you're going to have a lot of people that are going to snap. They're not going to it's going to
Oh,
be
I
weird.
agree with you that there would be a lot of crime. There would be, I the drug use and everything. But I, I don't know, dude. Just this episode depressed me.
It depressed you.
Depressed
We
me.
did have a lot of negative things. Hey man, it's the
I feel
darkness.
like I just sat through a lecture I never want to sit through again.
Are we in the darkest timeline? Are we living it and we don't even know it?
I hope not, but you
I
know
guess
what?
we'll see.
Ask me that question after the election next year,
All right.
because I have a feeling after the election next year there might be like 13 cities on fire,
Yeah, I could see that too.
and I truly, truly mean that.
I could see that too, to be completely honest with you. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to live my life, and you know,
YouTube, we are just two normal motherfucking dudes, and there's nothing we can do but just try to explain to you that being normal, there's nothing wrong with being normal.
why it's normal. It's why 99% of us are normal. It's how we all live. It's what it is. What it is. I don't know. Maybe.
I more meant that in a not conforming style of way. Because I mean, like, I feel like anybody who listened to this whole thing obviously realizes me and you are not easily brainwashed, and that
Mm,
we can form our own opinion. And just because 1 million people like this tweet or 1 million people like this video doesn't mean that we should jump on the bandwagon.
yeah.
What's a good example of something that the whole world, Call of Duty, but we already talked about that. But just fucking just just I don't know, just people they can form the shit too easily, and I feel like they don't outweigh the measures.
I agree. The attention spans and stuff are all shortened. We're all staring at phones and stuff like that. The important things, purpose and meaning and things like that, it's falling by the wayside, and I don't know where that leads. Maybe maybe this is how it always is. Maybe a 28-year-old back in 1922 thought that cars and drinking was the gonna be the doomsday of us all. Maybe that's just how it is. You ask our parents, they would say like, yeah, I remember back when fucking Reagan took office and we thought the Cold War was gonna be the end of us all, and it just continued, and here we are. Maybe that's just how it is. Maybe everyone at a certain point kind of thinks that,
I've
and
had somebody
then
tell me that. I've had somebody tell me that what you just said. I've talked to somebody who literally said that to me when I started talking. I was probably in my early 20s at a bar, really drunk. I can't. I've had somebody say exactly what you just said to me. Let me tell you something. Back then, we thought the whole world was gonna blow up. Dude, I wish I could remember
exactly,
who told me that. I had somebody
because
tell me
I've
that.
heard that too. Because I've heard that too. Maybe that really is just how it is. It seems doomsday. It seems like the darkest timeline to us, but maybe we every generation kind of goes through that period and then they keep living, and it's just like, huh, maybe when we're 37 we're just going to sit there and be like, well, and I may not like every single thing, but like you just keep moving. You just keep going forward and you realize life just continues on.
I personally think we'd all be happier people if they made brothels illegal in the United States. But
Everyone may get laid
that's what
legally.
I'm saying, and then all the women would be making money.
Yeah.
Eh, fuck happiness, right? I think that's all we have to talk about.
I think so. We had a good conversation today, honestly.
It
Talked
was
about some different
depressing.
things. It was, but if
Very, very
anyone listens
depressing.
to it, there's a lot of opinions in this one.
Speaking of which,
So, engage with us. If there's something we said you don't agree with or you do agree with, let us know.
or if we pissed you off, like literally tell us.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
See,
we are
we're here to
open.
engage.
We're open
We're
to the
here to
hate. We're
engage.
open for love.
Yeah.
We're open for debate, even though I'm not the one you want to debate because
You're retarded.
I'm not retarded. I like to learn. All right. And then when I learn it, I forget it to learn it again.
I was using your words.
uh, but yeah, subscribe. Fucking click a like button.
And
We
again, this
really
one had a
want you to
lot of
listen to this. And
yeah, this one had a lot of opinions. So leave a comment. Like if you heard something, we're more than welcome to talk about it. So
and besides like flooding in New York and fucking stupid politics shit, not much has really been going on in the news. And I think the NFL is keeping everybody like at bay right now, like keeping our
yeah,
brains
and
all
something will happen though. Something eventually
the
will
whole
happen.
Taylor Swift thing. But
And Travis Kelsey.
just I don't know, stick with us. We want to entertain you, make you laugh. We don't mean to get all too serious, but we like doing
Um,
this, and we made a
yeah,
hefty investment to do it, so we're not gonna stop.
amen to that, brother.
Four
Amen to
episodes
that.
deep.
Let's go. Thanks for tuning in to the Naked Zebras. I'm Sea Dog.
Today's gonna be the day that they're gonna throw back to you.
Look at this
But now,
photograph.
should have realized somehow what you gotta do.
I don't
I don't believe
believe that
anybody
anybody
feels the
feels the
way
way
I
I
do
do. All
about
right,
you
yeah, all right.
now.
Our singing is probably horrible, so we apologize for that in
'Cause
advance. But it was we hope you laughed.
maybe
Okay, I
you're
think we need to
gonna
end
be
the
the
episode
one
before he
that
continues.
saves me.
And abort.